already did kind of talk about this in my Poltergeist 2 review last year, but it was mainly a precursor to talking about Poltergeist, so it's not too big of a deal. So it was around 1977-1978, right after Close Encounters was released and received positive reviews from critics and audiences, and was a huge box office success. Columbia really wanted to have Spielberg make a sequel to the film, despite having no interest in doing it at all. But he didn't want the studio to make a movie without him, like Universal did with Jaws 2, and we saw how much ass that thing sucked. So he came up with a treatment that was less the sci-fi spectacle of Close Encounters, and was more of a grounded and personal horror film with some sci-fi elements, entitled Watch the Skies, which was also the working title for Close Encounters. Spielberg based the film off the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, where a Kentucky family claimed they were terrorized by aliens. Spielberg stated he heard the story from J. Allen Hynek while doing Close Encounters. In the original Watch the Skies treatment, it was about 11 malicious aliens trying to communicate with livestock in an attempt to discover what of Earth's alien species are sentient. They then turn their attention onto the family and dissect their livestock. NASA even claimed that Spielberg reserved space on the 1980 space shuttle flight to get footage of Earth from the moon to use in the film, but these were unsubstantiated rumors. Spielberg did officially state, though, that he would not be directing the film, just producing, due to the fact that he was under contract to do his next film under Universal. Spielberg wanted Lawrence Kasdan to write the script, but he was off writing Empire Strikes Back, so Spielberg got John Sayles instead, who wrote Piranha, which Spielberg majorly loved. During this time, the film was changed from Watch the Skies to Night Skies, as someone owned the rights to the phrase Watch the Skies, which I assume is by whoever owns the rights to The Thing from Another World. While many have stated that Night Skies was Straw Dogs but with aliens, Sayles stated he got his inspiration from the film Drums Along the Mohawk. Sayles even named the main alien Scar after the bad guy in The Searchers. Spielberg got Tobe Hooper to direct, and they were set to film after Spielberg was done with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Rick Baker was eventually chosen to do the alien creatures and effects. Rick Baker built a working prototype of the lead alien's head for $70,000, which Spielberg loved. In mid-1980, Sayles delivered the first and only draft of the screenplay. In the screenplay, the number of aliens was reduced from 11 to 5, and that one of the aliens was sympathetic, named Buddy, and befriended the family's autistic son. The script started with Scar killing livestock with a light at the end of his finger, and it ended with Buddy getting marooned on Earth by the rest of his heartless peers, with it being strongly implied that he would be killed by a hawk. Due to the creative difference, Sayles and Spielberg parted ways and the project continued on. While filming Raiders, Spielberg was having second thoughts about Night Skies. With all the death and destruction of Raiders, he wanted to go back to more of the lighter energy of Close Encounters. He gave the script to Melissa Matheson, the then-girlfriend, eventual future wife, and later ex-wife of Harrison Ford, who read it and cried at the end of it because of the relationship of a loving and sweet alien with a young boy of a broken home. And with that, Spielberg shut the door on Night Skies and decided to take that part of the script, and both he and Matheson fleshed it out into a feature film, which became E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. Rick Baker, who spent $700,000 on alien designs for Night Skies, had a huge fight with Steven Spielberg over this, so Baker was kicked off the project and replaced with Carlo Rambaldi to do the creature designs instead. John P. Veitch, the Columbia president of Worldwide Productions, and Frank Price, president of Columbia, hated the idea of E.T. and called it a quote-unquote wimpy Walt Disney movie. In early 1981, after the Close Encounter Special Edition was released, which fulfilled the desire for a sequel, E.T. went into turnaround. Sid Sheinberg, a longtime friend of Spielberg and president of MCA at the time, bought E.T. from Columbia and paid them $1 million the project cost thus far, and they would retain 5% of the film's net profits. Veitch later said that they made more money from E.T. that year than any of their actual movies. It was eventually released at Universal, and E.T. became the highest-grossing film of 1982, was nominated for multiple awards, and can possibly be blamed for The Thing's box office and critical failure. Yes, I'm still kind of salty about it, even if I wasn't alive at the time. While Night Skies was never actually made, many of its ideas and conception can be seen through many of Spielberg and Tobe Hooper's later films. While E.T. is very obvious, Hooper and Spielberg collaborated on Poltergeist and used some ideas from the original treatment in that film, as I mentioned in my Poltergeist 2 review. as well as a sequel to E.T. entitled E.T. 2 Nocturnal Fears, which would have been more like the original Night Skies concept, but also never saw the light of day, Gremlins, and War of the Worlds. It's also possible that Hooper used some ideas from Night Skies and put them into his Invaders of Mars remake. John Sayles went on to write and direct the E.T. ripoff, The Brother from Another Planet, starring Joe Morton as a mute alien with the ability to fix things and heal wounds, with the government chasing after him. Unfortunately, despite a script being made, I couldn't find it. I searched quite a bit too. Maybe if I do find it later on, I can make sort of a part 2 to this video detailing the script like I did for films earlier in the month. My thoughts on this film are sort of mixed, because on the one hand, I would have loved to see this movie, and I do think Hooper could have done a great job. But we also wouldn't have gotten E.T., which is a classic in its own right. Yeah, I rag on it in terms of its relationship with The Thing, but I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie. But with that, I'll see you tomorrow with another video.